State Finance Minister's empowered panel on GST met for the first time after the Parliament passed the landmark legislation. Remember, as many as 11 states have already ratified the GST bill in their respective assemblies. This includes the state of Telangana, which unanimously ratified the GST Constitutional Amendment Bill today. Speaking to the media later, Amit Mitra, the chairman of the state panel on GST, made it clear that the council was still deliberating on the issue of dual control. Not only that, the state finance ministers also met industry chambers in order to get their views on the model GST bill and also to allay the concerns raised by various sectors as far as the landmark tax reform was concerned.
Governments, states and centre, GSTN, which is the software-based institution, non-profit entity, appointed which has been meeting with our empowered committee over the last 2.5 years. The government is well ahead. Empowered committee has been debating where will the dual control come at. Empowered committee has said 1.5 crores is a good number, above which centre comes in. Below that only states will do. However, that's under discussion with the central government. I cannot give you a conclusion.
सेंटर और स्टेट्स का कंबाइन करके आरएनआर देखा जाए तो 23-24 के आसपास
23% है अगर सिंगल पॉइंट लगाते हैं, लेकिन वो आज पॉसिबल नहीं है. वैसे 27% है जो NIPFP की रिपोर्ट है.
तो मतलब ये इंडिकेट कर रहे हैं कि एक्चुअली काफी मुश्किल होगा रेट्स को एकदम घटाना.
मैं एक बात कह सकता हूँ कि आज जो आरएनआर है उससे कम होगा. क्या होगा मैं नहीं जानता.
टीएन में कौन राज्य कितना पैसा लगा, राज्यों का शेयर कैसे रहेगा, उसको पैसा कब कब दिया जाएगा, ये सारे इश्यूज यहाँ पे डिस्कस हुए. पर मेजर कंसर्न ये है कि जीएसटीएन की अकाउंटेबिलिटी, उसके डिलीवरेबल्स, वो सब बहुत क्लियर होना चाहिए राज्यों को और स्टेट को, और वो जीएसटीएन को भी क्लियर होना चाहिए.
It's very difficult to estimate the impact on consumption of changes in the price of goods because of the volume of goods and services involved. But our own assessment would be that, and looking at the experience of other countries that have introduced a national goods and services tax, is that actually within 2 or 3 years, you start seeing tremendous tax buoyancy in the system. And why? Because you have much wider coverage, you have much less evasion, you have far fewer gaps in the system, and as tax collections go up, I think everyone will be reassured, all the states will be reassured that 18% is indeed not only revenue neutral, but is actually providing greater revenue.
FICCI has decided to take a stance not to give a specific rate. I think we are suggesting that we should follow certain principles while recommending how GST rate should be done, and the principles are compliance, collections, tax evasion, and finally inflation, So I think on those 4 principles we should base our rates. But before that we are suggesting how do you categorize different goods into different categories of taxation. And we believe that I think items which are used by common man should be in the exempt list or merit list, and that's very, very important. And we suggested a very objective way of doing this by those items which are not excisable and not VATable should be in completely exempt list, and those items which are excised but there is VAT in the state should be in the merit list, and all other items should be in the standard rate.
We have said that the biggest boon of e-commerce is because lakhs of, if not millions of small businesses in the country have got access to a nationwide market and indeed a global market because of e-commerce. And while the TCS provision by itself does not impact the e-commerce companies, it impacts the small businesses, because for them, as much, if you make a simple back of the envelope calculation, as much as 1/3 to half of their margin stands eroded because of TCS.
And a quick